we have a nice little breakdown here of what's going on with SpaceX's Starlink off-planet internet business. You know, sometimes it's hard to figure out how all this stuff maps together. All this variety of things that Elon Musk and his companies are working on. And why, like, for example, why is Starlink part of SpaceX? I get it. It's in space. You need SpaceX, I guess, to launch the satellites, but it's an internet product. However, I think the hope is, reading this a quick little recap, synopsis of what it is that's going on, I believe that the hope here is to nab a significant percentage of the annual trillion-dollar global telecommunications industry. That's $30 to $50 billion. And then use that revenue to finance the ongoing space efforts of SpaceX. See, you sit there, you look at SpaceX, and you think of it as an independent company, and you're like, okay, how do you turn a profit here? Mm-hmm. How is this thing sustainable? What are you doing? You're launching these rockets and catching them? It's one experiment after the other. Are you funding this from the other companies that are actually making money? Are you going to go mine an asteroid at some point? At what point, what is the business model here? Mm-hmm. And so this provides a kind of, well, an instant model that lets SpaceX remain experimental, but it can generate revenue to remain operational. And it is a big market, the global internet market. And at the same time, we have this service that really there hasn't been any version of it yet that has gone into these regions, gone into these areas and supplied a fast enough connection. So it's a thing that's needed as well. Now, there are going to be barriers, right? They sent up a certain number of satellites, and some people are already upset. The people trying to look at the stars are upset. Yeah. There's a question around the long-term reliability of these satellites and maintenance required for these satellites to all be up there to the tune of thousands. I mean, what did they say? They got permission from the Federal Communications Commission to deploy 12,000 satellites by mid-2027. And the company has plans to fly perhaps 42,000 spacecraft. It's a lot of space action going on over there. Here's a quote from Musk. "We think this is a key stepping stone on the way towards establishing a self-sustaining city on Mars and a base on the moon. We see this as a way for SpaceX to generate revenue that can be used to develop more advanced rockets and spaceships." Period. Straight up. We got to make some cash here so we can keep doing the space stuff that you guys think is so cool. There are questions around their ability to do that, but they've gotten a bunch of good news recently. December 2020, they're looking to raise another round of funding to double the valuation up to $92 billion. And they think they can do $50 billion a year in revenue. SpaceX also won an $885 million federal subsidy to expand Starlink. So that's close to $1 billion right there, with the government kicking in. Mm-hmm. And there's a Canadian component too. A lot of the early testers are northern part of the US and also in Canada. I like to see people getting service that are in regions where that wasn't feasible previously. But it starts to make a little bit more sense what the master plan is here with SpaceX as a whole. They're going to have some sort of a commercial business going on as well.
Yeah. Can you imagine like space travel, space mining? Pretty lucrative. And, you know, could make quite a lot of money with that.
Well, it would.
It's just really, really hard.
Right. Yeah. It would change a lot of things. I mean, if they could actually do it, if all of a sudden you're on Mars and figure out there's tungsten everywhere and gold and lithium or whatever. I mean, I'm sure they have projections of what they might find in places like that. And then you got to transport. There's a lot of energy costs there and all the rest of it. But maybe they'll find Bitcoin up there.
Oh yeah.
Mars is full of Bitcoin. I think they're actually trying to even prior to Mars, they would like to mine asteroids. Those things are full of
rare minerals.
Yeah, apparently. All kinds of stuff. We have a new entrant into the streaming wars, which, I mean, it's epic at this point. There's so many different players here that are trying to get your $7 to $10 a month. It's out of control, actually. The new one is Discovery Plus, home streaming service. It'll have HGTV, Food Network, obviously Discovery shows. It's going to be reality based, so not your type of programming, which will be scripted. But instead, although, I mean, when it comes to reality, you kind of question how much of it is scripted. So Food Network, HGTV, TLC, BBC, and the Discovery Channel. It'll start at $4.99 per month, although in the header it says $6.99. It's also going to include a Fixer Upper reboot. That's one of the home reno type of shows.
Yeah.
Chip and Joanna Gaines. I guess that's one of their headline feature shows starting January 29th. And this, I mean, they're going to come in here and try to compete with the likes of Netflix and Disney Plus and HBO Max. And who am I? Oh, and the new one everyone just started talking about promoting, The Office, was Peacock, which I think is NBC Universal's product. Holy man. Discovery Plus is home to 55,000 episodes of shows from a variety of brands. History Channel's in there too, which I kind of like, so I don't know. I might check it out. David Attenborough's got a show on there that he's narrating, A Perfect Planet. There's also Dance Moms, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives with Guy Fieri. I know you're a big fan of that one. And the Internet Meme Factory, 90 Day Fiance. That's going to be on there too. Yeah. So, I don't know.
They seem like they hold a lot of original content. Discovery.
Yeah. Reality content. Food content, obviously. Food Network.
So, I mean, if they launch this, people will watch. People will subscribe.
It's just how many subscriptions can people have? That's the thing. How many can they have? Do you got to ditch one to get this one? Or do we just keep bouncing around? Do we try one and then try another? Or do we have them all? I don't know. It kind of becomes like cable all over again.